Hello. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Royal Enfield. We are delighted to have you all here and to be the first at EICMA this year. As you all know, Royal Enfield has been around for a very long time. We've been making motorcycles for over 121 years, and we intend to make motorcycles for another 121 years and beyond. So that gives us the unique position to be very long-term in our thinking. And that long-term thinking comes around in our way of making motorcycles. As you know, we tread a very different path. We do things very differently at Royal Enfield. And that's because we have a different worldview of how motorcycles should be. And that also, how we think about motorcycles is not typical. It's not other motorcycle manufacturers who look at competition a lot. We don't do that. We ride ourselves, all of us. We enjoy riding. We understand the pain and the pleasure and the joy of motorcycling. And we ride with our customers. We observe them, we see them. And that's what informs us in making our motorcycles at Royal Enfield. And hopefully you get a sense of that, you get a taste of that in the motorcycles that we make. And Royal Enfield has actually a rich history in cruisers as well. In Royal Enfield UK in the 1950s, we were making cruisers. In modern day Indian Royal Enfield, there was first the city bike, and after that was the Lightning. This is the Lightning 535cc. That's the one when I was 16 years old, I was like, oh my God, this is gorgeous, and I used to love this. And we've come a long way. After that, we had the Thunderbird in 2002. And we had more iterations of the Thunderbird with different engines and others in 2009. Here you go. And 2 years ago, we had a full new cruiser, the Meteor 350, which has been an astounding success around the world, in India, in Europe, and everywhere in the world. In fact, our European colleagues who are here, they told us, oh, 350 won't sell in Europe that well. But we knew that it's such an amazing motorcycle that it will sell. But always behind that idea was that we will have a bigger brother to the Meteor. And that's what brings us here today. And over to Govind to tell you a little bit about that.
2018, we actually launched the twin-cylinder 650cc as a platform. When we were conceiving the platform, at that point of time, we thought as a team that this should be a platform which will be a versatile one, which will itself render for various expressions of the motorcycles like a cafe racer, a cruiser, and a roadster. After the rigorous testing, with fine-tuning, we came out with the gorgeous-looking Continental GT and Interceptor 650 across the globe. When we launched, the consumers really loved it, and we were very happy to bring these sort of motorcycles into the motorcycling world. When we launched what next into this when we finished the Cafe Racer and the Interceptor 650, what next in the platform is the cruiser. Mark will talk about that.
So when we started thinking about a cruiser, we started with saying, well, what is a cruiser? What does a cruiser mean? So for us, and I think for everybody that rides cruisers, it means getting on a bike and looking out to the horizon, looking out to the vanishing point, looking across a massive vista and thinking, I want to ride there. I've not got a plan, but over there looks great. I'm going to get on the bike and I'm just going to go. And it's that sat down in that feet forward, hands up, relaxed riding position, and just letting the world go past you, letting the scenery move through you, moving through the landscape, feeling the heat and the light change. And that's really the very essence, the archetype of a cruiser. And so when we started out, that was exactly what we were looking to try and create. It was a product that captured that feeling of free movement and spirit, of being able to go out and see the world and just endlessly munch through the miles and watch the world change around you. So we've got a short video we're going to play for you now, just to give you a bit of a backstory. So I'll step out of the way and let you see the video.
modern day Royal Enfield has a long history in cruisers. We had the cruiser in the 90s, which actually catered to that peak Americana, and it was inspired by that. But subsequently what happened was we learned a lot about our consumers, what they actually use, what they like, what they don't. And then that idea evolved into the Lightning and then the Thunderbird.
They're all a sort of a cruiser, which is not a full thoroughbred cruiser, but it actually gave more and more experience to us about what consumer is wanting for a long distance ride.
Royal Enfield have got a rich heritage in this space. So the idea for doing a large capacity cruiser at the Super Meteor was really always there.
In fact, ever since we came out with the Meteor 350, the demand for a larger cruiser has been quite obvious. And that's one of the reasons we've fast-tracked the Super Meteor.
So the Super Meteor project started at the same time as the Twins. We always knew we wanted a range of motorcycles. Obviously the GT and the Interceptor came first.
What the success of the 650s really did, I think, is make all of us realize in the big, wide Royal Enfield ecosystem within the company and without, that people are looking for a Royal Enfield take on different genres, different platforms, and that became very interesting for us with the 650s. That opened our eyes to this possibility.
It became clear this engine was, if not even better suited for this bike. It just works really well in this package. But outside of that, virtually everything else on this bike is brand new. It's an entirely new mainframe, entirely new suspension geometry, bodywork is brand new, tank, side panels, swinging arm. We've gone for upside down forks for the first time on a Royal Enfield. And that very first LED headlight, everything on the bike really is, as I say, it's from a clean sheet of paper, it's brand new.
So when they came to cruising, Royal Enfield's incredible design and development, they were able to distill exactly which parts of Royal Enfield's DNA will really build on a certain version of motorcycle. Royal Enfield's take on cruising.
Sky's